In the quiet hours of a sleepless night, when the world outside your window is a hushed gray and the only sound is the rhythmic pulse of your own heart, you begin to hear the echo of another life. One that exists in a different city, a different time zone, a different set of unspoken rules. You've watched the sun rise through a screen, felt the warmth of a hand that is only a few thousand miles away, and yet the distance has carved a chasm that feels both invisible and impenetrable. How does it feel to love someone who is physically present in your dreams, but absent in your daily reality? The paradox of longing and connection is a silent, relentless ache that gnaws at the edges of your consciousness. You might think that distance is simply a logistical hurdle, a matter of scheduling calls and sending messages. But what if the true challenge lies deeper, in the shadows that grow in the absence of shared light? Imagine a relationship that, like a candle in a storm, flickers between brilliance and darkness, its flame sustained by longing yet threatened by the wind of doubt. Do you ever wonder if the distance is a mirror, reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that you keep hidden even from the one you love? Picture a night where the moon is a thin silver coin, and the stars are like scattered shards of forgotten promises. You sit alone, and the silence is not empty, but full of whispers from a realm you have never dared to explore. It is here, in this twilight between worlds, that the unseen forces of the psyche begin to stir. Are you ready to look beneath the surface of your feelings and find that what you think is love is merely a doorway to something older, something that has always existed in the folds of your unconscious mind? You have felt it, the sudden, inexplicable feeling that something is not quite right, even when everything on the surface appears perfect. The connection that should be a bridge becomes a labyrinth, each turn revealing another layer of doubt, another shadow of fear. How do you navigate this maze when the map you have been given is written in a language you barely understand? You crave certainty, yet the only certainty you find is the realization that the unknown is not a void, but a canvas waiting for you to paint with intention. And yet, there's a lure in the unknown, a dark, almost seductive pull that draws you closer to the abyss. It whispers promises of deeper intimacy, of a bond that transcends time and space. Have you ever felt the thrill of the forbidden? The thrill that comes from knowing that you are treading a path that few dare to walk. The distance is not just a physical barrier. It is a threshold, a doorway to the deeper realms of the soul where the light and the dark dance in a delicate, eternal rhythm. Finally, imagine standing at the edge of this threshold, heart racing, breath shallow, and the knowledge that beyond this point lies a truth that has been hidden from the ordinary eye. Will you step forward, knowing that every step may either bring you closer to the love you seek or pull you deeper into the shadows? The question hangs in the air like a fragile, trembling candle flame. Will you let it guide you, or will you let it flicker out? The journey begins now, not with solutions or guarantees, but with the invitation to look into the darkness and find the hidden light that has always been there, waiting to be discovered. When the calendar pages flip like a slow, deliberate drumbeat, each tick feels like a countdown toward an invisible horizon. You and your beloved inhabit different calendars, yet your hearts beat to the same rhythm, an ancient, resonant pulse that transcends geography. Have you ever sensed that this pulse is not merely biological, but a cosmic vibration, a shared frequency that hums beneath the surface of every connection? In the realm of the elongated love, that frequency becomes a conduit, channeling unseen currents that can either strengthen or unravel the bond. Consider the Jungian notion of the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine facets that reside within each of us. In a partnership stretched across continents, these inner archetypes are forced to navigate a silent battlefield. One partner may find themselves projecting their anima onto the other, hoping for an idealized version that never truly exists. Conversely, the animus may retreat into isolation, feeling threatened by the absence of physical touch. This misalignment can create a dissonant chord, resonating with the ache of longing. How might you recalibrate this internal symphony? By consciously acknowledging the archetypal roles you inhabit and inviting the other to do the same, you can begin to harmonize the dissonant notes. Beyond the psyche, the terrain of elongated love is strewn with ley lines, subtle, invisible threads that connect us to the planet's energetic grid. When these lines align, they form a natural bridge, a silent channel through which intention can flow. Imagine setting a nightly intention ritual, lighting a candle, speaking a phrase that embodies your shared dream, and visualizing the ley line pulsing with your love. This act is not mere superstition. It is a deliberate invocation of the universe's hidden currents. By aligning your personal energies with the planets, you create a psychic shortcut that can diminish the feeling of separation. Synchronicity, the meaningful coincidence that Jung described, often surfaces in these stretched relationships. You might find yourself reaching for a book about a topic you both love, only to discover a handwritten note tucked inside. These moments are the universe's way of saying that, even when miles apart, your lives are still intertwined. Paying attention to these synchronicities can provide a sense of proximity that physical presence cannot. Do you notice the patterns that arise when you least expect them? By recording them, you weave a tapestry of shared experience that transcends the ordinary. The shadow aspect of elongated love cannot be ignored. In the absence of everyday interactions, the subconscious tends to fill the void with fantasies, both hopeful and frightening. One partner may imagine the other as a guardian of a hidden treasure, while the other may fear abandonment. These shadows can manifest as jealousy, resentment, or an obsessive need for control. Acknowledging them is the first step toward integration. Rather than suppressing these feelings, invite them into the conversation. When you speak of a fleeting doubt, ask, "What fear is this, and what truth does it hide?" This simple inquiry turns a shadow into a lesson. Finally, remember that the elongated love is a dance between the visible and the invisible. It is a choreography performed on a stage where the audience is the universe itself. The choreography requires practice, patience, and a willingness to let go of the illusion that distance is a barrier. Instead, view it as a canvas where you can paint your shared destiny with colors drawn from both the conscious and the unconscious. As you navigate this journey, trust that the universe is not merely a backdrop, but an active participant, guiding your steps with silent whispers of possibility. The night sky has long been a canvas upon which we project our deepest yearnings. And in this particular twilight of distance, the constellations shift, revealing a new map of possibility. As we stand at the threshold between the familiar and the unknown, the threads we have traced, those subtle currents of longing, the quiet hum of shared intention, the silent tug of archetypal forces, begin to intertwine like vines that grow toward a common horizon. Each vine, once a solitary sprout, now reaches upward, its tendrils brushing against one another, forming a lattice that supports the weight of a shared destiny. In the quiet moments of reflection, you may feel the pull of something larger than the individual sensations that have guided you thus far. This pull is not a simple summation of past events, but a resonance that echoes through the chambers of your heart, a vibration that aligns with the rhythm of the universe itself. It is as if the distance that once seemed an insurmountable wall has become a conduit, a bridge forged from the very energy that once separated you. The bridge, though invisible, is tangible in the way your thoughts drift toward the other, in the way your breath synchronizes with their rhythm across time zones. You might notice that the patterns you once saw as obstacles now serve as stepping stones. The very moments of doubt that once threatened to erode the foundation of your bond have become catalysts, compelling you to look inward, to confront the shadows that lie dormant beneath the surface. In confronting those shadows, you release a flood of light that illuminates the path ahead. The journey has become a dance between darkness and illumination, each step a deliberate choice to embrace the unknown while holding steadfast to the promise of connection. As the night deepens, the veil between the conscious and the unconscious thins, allowing a subtle dialogue to unfold between your inner self and the other. This dialogue is not merely verbal. It is a symphony of unspoken understanding, a language formed from shared experiences, memories, and the quiet spaces where you both exist simultaneously yet apart. The language of this silent conversation is rich with nuance, speaking to the very essence of who you are when you are together and who you become when you are apart. Imagine, for a moment, that your relationship is a garden tended by two hands, each watering its own plot, yet sharing the same soil. The soil, enriched by the union of your efforts, holds the seeds of future growth. The garden does not flourish merely because the hands are present. It thrives because each hand recognizes the other's contribution, and together they nurture the soil with intention and care. The garden's blossoms, though scattered across the landscape, share a fragrance that lingers, a reminder that the roots are intertwined. In this moment of quiet synthesis, the path forward is not a straight line, but a winding trail illuminated by the glow of shared intention. You have learned that distance is not a barrier, but a variable that can be harnessed, that the unconscious mind is not a void, but a reservoir of untapped potential, and that the subtle currents of the universe are not random, but responsive to the rhythm of your heart. The journey ahead invites you to step into the space between the known and the unknown, to trust that the unseen threads you have woven will hold you steady as you navigate the next chapter of your shared story. Reflecting on this journey so far, you can feel the pulse of possibility beating beneath your skin. The anticipation is not a fleeting excitement, but a deep, resonant hum that speaks of growth, of transformation, and of a love that is both anchored and free. The bridge you have built, though invisible, stands firm, ready to carry you toward the next horizon where the light of understanding meets the shadows of the heart. The journey continues, and the next steps will be guided by the same forces that have carried you this far. Forces that are as ancient as the stars and as intimate as the breath you share across the miles. When the first light of dawn finally breaks over the horizon, it does so not to signal an end, but to illuminate the path you have already walked. The distance that once seemed an insurmountable chasm has become a mirror, reflecting back to you the hidden facets of your own soul and the silent rhythms that bind two hearts across miles. In that mirror, you see not only the physical separation, but the deeper currents that have carried your love through nights of uncertainty, through moments when doubt threatened to drown the flame. The true lesson lies in recognizing that the very forces that pull you apart also hold the power to bring you together, to deepen the intimacy that cannot be measured in centimeters or time zones. The journey you have embarked upon is not a linear progression, but a spiral that continually revisits the core of your connection, each turn revealing new layers of meaning. As you move through this spiral, you learn that longing is not a flaw, but a compass, pointing toward the places where your heart yearns for union. The longing becomes a reminder that you are capable of reaching beyond the visible, of tapping into the unseen threads that weave your shared narrative. Each heartbeat, each whispered thought across the ether, is a stitch in a tapestry that grows richer with every thread of vulnerability you allow into the space. In this dance between distance and intimacy, the shadow that once lurked in the corners of your mind has been invited into the light. By acknowledging the fears that surface when you feel alone, you give them permission to exist, to be transformed into catalysts for growth. The shadow no longer opposes but coexists, reminding you that every love is a balance of light and darkness, of giving and receiving, of being present and being absent. The union of these forces creates a dynamic equilibrium that sustains the relationship even when the physical presence is absent. The universe, in its quiet wisdom, offers you a silent invitation to become a co-creator of your shared destiny. The synchronicities that punctuate your days are not mere coincidences. They are signposts, guiding you toward deeper understanding and greater alignment. When a message arrives at the exact moment you need it, or a song stirs a memory that feels like a secret handshake, you are reminded that you are not alone. You are part of a larger, interwoven tapestry where every thread matters and every pattern is intentional. Your relationship, stretched across continents, has become a living testament to the power of intention and the resilience of the human heart. It is a reminder that love is not a static state, but an evolving dialogue, a continuous exchange of energy that transcends geography. Each moment you choose to listen, to empathize, to speak honestly, you reinforce the bridge that holds you together. The bridge is not built from concrete, but from trust, communication, and the shared willingness to confront the unknown together. As you close this chapter of reflection, carry forward the understanding that distance is not a limitation, but a canvas. Paint it with the colors of your shared dreams, the strokes of your mutual respect, and the subtle hues of your individual growth. Let the distance serve as a reminder that love, when nurtured with intention and openness, can span any gulf. The true practice begins now, as you step into each new day with the knowledge that your hearts beat in unison, guided by the same invisible currents that have always connected you. Keep listening to the quiet whispers of the universe, and let them guide you toward a love that is both anchored and ever expanding.